Now see, the point, that doesn't mean that you couldn't win. See, what you're going to find is that when you trade on what I call a trade-by-trade basis, see, we're going to make the distinction between trading trade by trade and trading over a series of trades. When you trade by trade, it means that each individual trade is like a life or death thing. In other words, I wouldn't be putting this trade on if I didn't think this trade was going to win. Not the opposite of that, which is I'm going to put on the next 20 trades because I think that 70 or 75% of them or 50% of them are going to win. There's a huge difference in perspective. So if you're coming off a winning trade or a series of wins, you're likely to jump the gun. But the interesting part about all this is that each one of these errors that I'm giving you could all result in a winning trade. You could do every single one of these things and still win. You could not predefine your risk and still find yourself in a winning trade. You can hesitate and find out it's exactly the right thing to do in that moment. You can jump the gun and find out it's exactly the right thing to do in that moment. You can not take your loss and the market comes back in your favor. All these errors that we're talking about, you can commit over and over again, and they could end up you could end up experiencing positive results. Except one thing is that when you indulge yourself in behaviors, in these kinds of behaviors, it could lead to virtually every time leads to a catastrophic loss. Catastrophic. You put on a trade without predefining your risk 3 or 4 times in a row and turns out to be a winner. And then the next one, you don't do it. That's the one that's going to be the catastrophic loss. See, so on a trade-by-trade basis, you can do anything for any reason and commit any error or what would be considered an error in the